Good morning, traders. I am Stephen Davis, Senior Market Strategist, RJO Futures, downtown Chicago. Happy Friday to all of us here. We'll talk to you about the grain markets. Okay, next Friday is March 1st, the deadline for the China-U.S. tariffs. I think what you're going to see happening is in the next 4, 5, 6 months, a gradual decrease in these tariffs that USA has slapped on Chinese goods. So these talks, they seem to be going in a positive manner. And, one positive here, too, is that all this talk about China, USA, is really keeping the sellers at bay. You read everywhere the fundamentals of soybeans, for example, are very bearish. But keep in mind that money flow trumps fundamentals every single time. So here's our first chart of corn, and Friday today we got all these export sales out, so we're up to date now. The corn numbers this morning look pretty good towards the higher end of expectations. So we've had 2 days of higher highs and higher lows, and today would be the third day. Many days these markets go in days of 3. I would look for these corn and soybeans to close strong here. We're going to open at 8:30 here in a few minutes. The biscuit break will be over. A lot of information out, and good export sales here. So. And here's some things now that can be positive for the corn market going forward. We had a wet fall and a lot of field work didn't get done. And it's wet. We've got a wet winter here. We're going to have snow melt. There's going to be flooding. Already in the south, this is delayed planting of corn. So what you're supposed to get is more acres in corn this year at the expense of soybeans. Maybe 2-3 million more acres of corn and maybe 2-3 million less acres of soybeans. Well, that's all good and well here as we talk in February. But if the farmer can't get in the field to plant corn, he's going to plant more soybeans. And that will be a lower production in corn this year, and that would be bullish for corn prices. And certainly the $5 million question here is demand. And if demand is better than anyone's talking about, then we trade to higher prices. So we'll keep talking about this spring planting here as we move into the spring. Okay, the soybean market, our next chart of soybeans, same kind of chart. You can see you got 2 days of higher highs and higher lows. And if I'm a betting guy, I think you're going to see 3 days here. And I would look for soybeans to close strong going into the weekend. Okay, next week now the president is going to be with the North Korean leader. So he's going to be busy. And later in March, he's going to meet with the Chinese president and perhaps get these tariffs on the back burner here and we can move forward. China buying U.S. soybeans is paramount. It's big, and it seems like they're going to come back into our mainstream here buying U.S. soybeans. Okay, the Asian swine flu, we got our first case in Vietnam announced. So China's saying they've slaughtered 1 million pigs over there, and it's just food security, and the Chinese people, they don't want this. So granted, it's going to cut into the soybean meal demand for all the pigs over there in China, but still not a good story. The Chinese authorities arresting Chinese people who are taking pictures of dead pigs, so they don't want to talk about this. So just it brings the Chinese back to the USA, where our food security is paramount, and it's good for China buying U.S. soybeans here in the long term. So, and then the wheat market here, the same kind of chart. Wheat's a follower with corn. I do notice export sales and business picking up at lower prices, so perhaps buying wheat here at lower prices is a good way to go. And wrapping this up now, next Friday is March 1st. You're going to have all kinds of rumors next week. But it just seems like the market wants to trade higher, and we'll see if it does. Everybody has an excellent weekend.